From Madison Square Garden in New York City, it's the Golden Gators versus the New York Apples. Good evening. I'm Julie Heldman, and I'm really happy to say with me tonight is Bud Collins. Hi, Bud.
How are you? Good evening.
And we have a wonderful tennis match on our hands tonight. It's the Golden Gators, the New York Apples, and what's going to happen, Bud?
Well, I'm picking the Golden Gators because they wind up with the men's doubles. They're a very tough team of Sandy Mayer and Fru McMillan.
And what do we have to look forward to in the tennis?
Well, what I always look forward when I see the New York Apples, Julie, is Billie Jean King. She is a special person in tennis. She plays the Wimbledon champion, Virginia Wade, who's just being announced behind us.
And I would say, Bud, because you say Billie Jean's so wonderful with her own New York crowd, I'll say that New York's going to win.
Oh.
Yeah. And tonight, we are also happy to say we have with us our courtside reporter, Bob Goldschall. Bob?
Well, we spoke to both players and coaches before the match tonight. We'll be showing you some of those interviews on videotape replay. In addition, we'll be speaking to some of the winners as the match progresses. So back to you, Bud and Julie.
Thanks, Bob. And I'm also pleased to say we have with us tonight world tennis's famous statistician, Steve Flink, and Bud, you'll be talking with him later.
If I can keep up with his numbers.
Talking about numbers, in the Western Division of World Team Tennis, Golden Gate has now snuck up to be one game behind San Diego, who went off to a really ferociously wonderful start. Last week they were 2.5 games behind, now only one.
And in the Eastern Division, the Apples, 3.5 games behind in second place, behind the Lobsters of Boston, but they're moving up.
As you probably know, tonight's match is on videotape. That's so that we can show you the very best of World Team Tennis action here on Home Box Office.
The last warm-ups. And now Coach Fru McMillan, upper left of your screen, is getting ready to take the court with Maurice Kruger and Julie Hellman. I noticed that before the match, Fru was playing bareheaded, which is very unusual for him. He never goes topless. He has that cap. Some people think he sleeps in it. His wife, Sally, assures me that he does not, but it's quite a trademark for him.
Well, he's also a very good-looking man without it or with it, but he does practice without it.
So we open up with Ray Ruffles, the Apples, against the Golden Gators. Ruffles to Kruger.
Oh, it was good.
Yeah, 0-1.
Ed Michael motioning that that was a good one. For the last 2 years, Ray Ruffles has been #1 in the league in mixed doubles. He is not leading the league in the moment in mixed doubles because he's been sick, injured a bit.
1 point all. Joanne Russell closes that out, 2 points to 1.
2-1.
Leading the league in mixed doubles are Mona Garant and Ross Case, amazingly. That San Diego team where Mona's playing so well at the moment.
Oh, that slimy left-handed serve of Ray Ruffles. Ruffles and Russell. We're going to get mixed up on this one before the night's over. Ruffles serving, Russell at the net. Out.
Joanne a little overeager. First ball, you get the hit of the night. Sometimes you go crashing forward at it.
2 points all, Maurice Kruger, about a yard behind the baseline. She has returned both times. It's a tough assignment facing Ruffles on this court.
Yeah, most of the women have more trouble with his lefty serve. She's very steady, though. On the Women's Tennis Association computer ranking, she's ranked 13 in the world. She's terribly good when she gets her racket on the ball. You know, it's sort of like Chris Evert, in that Chris is much better, but when Chris actually gets to the ball, she does a lot with it. She has good hands, Maurice does. She's 19.
Youngest player on either team.
She's from Pretoria.
Yeah, they've got 3 South Africans on the Golden Gators.
And one who was brought up there, Virginia Wade.
You're absolutely right.
Virginia Wade, born in Bournemouth, England, brought up in Durban in South Africa. Moved away when she was 11.
3 straight lets for Ruffles. What's the league record, Julie? Oh, he finally folded.
We should ask Steve Flink. He's not replying to that one.
So, trouble. Break point.
And last night, New York went out and lost the mixed doubles straight off, with this team playing for them, Ruffles and Russell. Ooh, big serve. Not finding his range.
So McMillan will have 2 chances to break here. Ooh. Ooh. Fru's got it. And it's a winner! No, not yet. Woo! Russell! McMillan! Oh!
That old guy still has legs, bud. Fru McMillan ran down a lot of balls.
So, all Ruffles won out of that was a chance to get into sudden death. Last point of the game, and it's man-to-man. Great return by McMillan. So,
Ruffles was a little slow getting into the net, and maybe that was what left him his serve.
Fru McMillan.
So, Fru McMillan will serve now. The Golden Gators leading in the match 1-0. Nope.
2-0.
Fru's putting a lot of power into his serve. I've seen him play quite a bit recently, and he hasn't been serving really all that hard. He has a famous, not totally extended arm on his action some of the time.
He's getting a lot of steam in that ball.
Isn't he?
3-0.
He's really snapping it through tonight. His team is really surging ahead at the moment. What's amazing is that the Golden Gators could be doing so well with Sandy Mayer playing so badly in the singles.
Yeah.
Four straight.
2 games to none for the Golden Gators.
On Fru McMillan's really good, strong first serves.
And serving for New York, Joanne Russell.
Well, here's Russ. Joanne Russell. Wimbledon doubles champion. Home box office will be there at the Big W.
We sure will. We have a lot of wonderful action on where you won't be able to see it anywhere else except on home box office. But Joanne Russell's has been changing their serve a great deal. We showed Golden Gate up against Los Angeles a couple of weeks ago, and her serve just did not look at all right. She was starting with her knees bent, and she looked like she was having to muscle her whole serve. It just didn't look right, and she was double faulting a lot. It was causing her a lot of problems, even though she played beautifully against Chris Everett. We'll take a close look in a bit and see how she's changed that.
She's improved so much over the year. Fred Stolle, her coach, says she's the most improved player in the league. He's subjective about it, I suppose, but
Right.
she's obviously much improved.
Yeah.
McMillan!
Players who have played on McMillan's team realize that he's going to go that sharp cross a great deal of the time and tend to cover over there rather than the middle. There's the famous two-hander. Joanne was one of those late starters. Most of the great women players shown how wonderful they are going to be by about 15 or 16. Joanne came from Naples, Florida, which was halfway to nowhere, and didn't really show it until much later. Oop, a double.
Ooh.
1-3.
Gee, 3 breakers against Russell, and the Apples are going to be in the sauce fast.
Mm-hmm. Hurting. She put in a soft one.
That's
Change
out.
up.
2-3.
When in doubt, get in and get yourself up to the net very quickly.
Close. Yeah, it is a double fault.
Did you think so?
Awful close. That would be her
They're giving her a second serve.
overruled by the referee, Roger Glazer. And that's a break.
That's where they only give a second serve. They're supposed to give 2 serves if there's a disruption of play, no matter if the second serve has been served. Good deep serve. Great return, though. Fru McMillan's return for the second time has been the thing that has broken the serve of the New York Apples.
3-0 for the Gators.
As always, during our
Maybe we can have a look at Joanne's serve now. You see, before she used to bend her knees at the beginning. And here, as she winds up in the beginning, she's much, much looser with her arm. Coach Fred Stolle taught her those 2 things, he said, in the very beginning. Just loosen up your whole body. What was happening is she had tendonitis in her shoulder and in her elbow. And serving wrong was making it much worse. So as she improves, it's helping her arm, too.
Well, fiery Fred Stolle has a few words, none of them good, to say to his team. They have... So it will be Maurice Kruger serving for the first time in the match.
But it's interesting, before the match tonight, when Joanne heard that the mixed doubles was going to be first, she was quite discouraged. She said, that's really not what I want to do. And Fred Stolle said, but you're our best team, meaning you're the best doubles on our team. But Joanne said, but how lousy I played last night. I just was shaky.
Oh.
Billie Jean then tried to cool her out of it. She said, no, Joanne, you were tired. That doesn't count. But she just wasn't confident. And look what's happening here.
Well, they are sleepwalking in this opening set.
Quickly, coffee, amphetamines, something.
Wow, that was close.
That was caught by linesman Frank Ragona.
Good
You're not supposed to catch it.
No, not really, but
It's good if you can.
couldn't resist.
Really.
3-0. Kruger to Ruffles.
Kruger doesn't have a powerhouse. Gets it in deep, though.
Topspin lob is long. So, the Gators, 4 games to none.
Gators now lead 4-0.
What if as New York won the set? 8 points?
Well, Ruffles serving for the second time. He was broken
1-0.
in a sudden death game.
He's got to put a little more fizz into his serve. Some more oomph.
Well, he can give you that serpentine serve right there. Kruger, boy, she's a pretty good player. I've never seen her play mix before.
Well, I watched her throughout the season now, and she's been getting better and better. Of course, playing with Fru doesn't hurt.
Doesn't hurt. He could win with a cigar store Indian.
That she isn't, though, bud.
No. Or if she is, I'd like to own the cigar store.
She was having problems in the beginning of the season by not being terribly mobile, but now she's being in the right place at the right time, making up for it.
1-2.
1 point to 2. Now here is a very big point for the Gators because they cannot afford to go down triple breaker in this game. It doesn't look as though the Apples will win the set, but they've got to get some games. They've got to get in here. Let cord.
Oh, it was over.
Bounces like an apple. They needed it.
3-2.
If that's the way to hold your serve, they need a little more help than that.
He was lucky. Kruger played a fine point.
She really seems to be in the right place, very solid, very secure, doesn't try anything fancy.
Through.
I thought he went for an out ball and still made a winner out of it.
3-all.
Sudden death game. Once more, just as it was in the opener. And huge point for the Apples because they could be down 5-0. But are not.
Oh, Drew nearly had another winning return, but on the third 3-all point, New York Apples finally broke their goose egg.
4-1.
So no bagel for the Gators. But Frew is serving at 4-1. That makes Fred Stolle and the Apples feel a little better. Net cord. Ooh, ooh!
1-0.
Frew McMillan had so much time here that he took a huge swinging volley. Look at this one. He was all over there. Didn't just punch it, he roundhoused it.
Oh.
Did you see how early he moved on that?
He has such good double sense.
2-0.
Frew and Bob McMillan, it's like Frew McMillan and Bob Hewitt, it's like the wisdom of the ages. The older they get, the better they play doubles.
Golden Gators have won 10 straight points on serve.
Oh.
That comes to us courtesy of Steve Flink, the only person in the booth who can count that high.
Great return!
Joanne Russell. So that breaks the string.
2-1.
And you can see that she was quite pleased with that. She's a bouncy, happy one. Likes to play the rock music just before going out to play a match.
Well, that's the best point Ruffles has played.
2-all.
2 points all. Now the Apples can climb back in if Russell makes a good return.
Frew will probably serve into her backhand, though, this time. Her forehand's better than her backhand.
Oh, you
Tried
do
it.
predict those things. Very good.
I'm right at least 20% of the time. Taking his time. Oh, my. Oh!
Oh, Frew is putting on a one-man exhibition here.
Yeah, he is.
3-2.
3 points to 2. The Gators leading 4-1. Opening set.
Apple's bench is laughing. What can you do when Frew's playing that well?
Yeah, when it hurts so much, all you can do is laugh. Kruger. 5 games to 1 for the Gators.
Now into the match. 5-1. We remind you once again.
Bud, the Apples have been looking like a sinking ship out here, and on Sunday, June the 8th, we're going to have a real sinking ship. Airport 77. And there'll be a 747 trapped beneath the sea.
My word. I felt like I was on a few of those myself. Just the cocktail hour, actually, on the 747. Jack Lemmon's in that, Jimmy Stewart, Olivia de Havilland. I remember her from Robin Hood before you were born, Hellman.
What is Robin Hood?
That was a movie.
Oh, I see.
Errol Flynn and Olivia de Havilland. But this is a movie with Lemmon, Stewart, and de Havilland. Airport 77 starts on home box office June 8th.
10 seconds.
So, Joanne Russell. Joanne to Maurice Kruger. 5-1. for the Golden Gators from the San Francisco Bay Area. And that's a heavy deficit to make up.
1-0.
Well, this is World Team Tennis. They're not playing so much to win the set, which obviously they'd like to do. They're playing for game.
To score, right. It's out, and once again, as you've pointed out, Julie, Kruger seems so unobtrusive out there. She's a shy young woman. She just takes the right step at the right time, and she's there to make the winning volley.
And she can smash him when she wants to. The change up again. Joanne trying that for the second time against Maurice Kruger.
Russell.
Very smart.
2-1.
No, the old war horse, that clever guy was going to cross, so she out-clevered him.
Well,
Oh, he got his own back.
2-all.
2 points all. Madison Square Garden. 2 second-place teams. The Apples in the East, the Gators in the West. Kruger hit an out ball. Still going. Ooh!
Oh. Talking to the Golden Gator people, they say that in some of the matches this year, Kruger has really held up Frew, if you can believe that. He just missed one by an inch there, but she really set that up.
3 points to 2. Russell let it go, and the Apples have another game. It is 5-2 for the Gators. Kruger serving for the set.
Golden Gators lead in the match now, 5-2.
So Maurice Kruger and the Apples like that start. Like to pick up another game. Be down by 3 instead of 4 if they can.
Let her serve.
Ray Ruffles, nicknamed Hesh, for some clothing he once showed up in as a youth. Played a good point. Joanne's looking a little more lively.
He showed up in some Hessian
Hessian
cloth.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it wasn't that, but everybody thought it looked so awful they said it looked like Hessian, so we kept that nickname. It's kind of fun, you know. Maurice Kruger is belting the ball straight at Hesh, at Ray Ruffles.
1 point to 2. And Ruffles really feels bad about that one. He had a second ball and he just belted it beyond the court. Not a good return.
Well, he certainly has not played his best this year.
Well, here's set point.
Little mishit from Joanne.
3-2.
Presumptuous.
3 points to 2. Kruger has the set point, and the Gators can have a bulge of 4 after the first set. Ruffles has got to get it into play. Try to force sudden death. 3 points to 2. Kruger stayed back, so
3-all.
set point number 2, but it's also sudden death, woman to woman. Kruger to Russell. Oh, what a gigantic point this is for the Apples. Oh, it's left.
The longer it takes, the shakier your arm gets.
And they get it. So 5-3 for the Gators.
The Golden Gators now lead in the match, 5-3.
They had 2 set points. They could have been ahead by 4. Instead, they're ahead by 2. and the Apples can come closer. Boy, that Kruger has not missed a return.
It's interesting. Maurice Kruger was thinking of quitting the game a year ago. At the advanced age, I believe she was 17 at the time. She was thinking, she said, well, I just don't know if I want to play that much longer. She's homesick, you know.
For South Africa.
Sure, it's a long way away.
1 point all. So the Apples have revived. They were down 4-0. Now that's 3-5. Ace, first for the set.
Two, one.
2 points all.
And yet another example of Kruger being there. She didn't do much with it. She got it back.
She kept it over the net, and she kept it low.
Mm-hmm.
You can learn something from watching Maurice Kruger, the receiver here. She has not missed a return of serve. And look at her fight it off, but Ruffles has 3-2.
3-2.
Ray Ruffles is struggling. Comes out of Sydney, but he may get through this game.
Ooh.
Second service.
Doesn't seem very sure about his serve.
No, which is unusual. Usually that's been one of his leading weapons.
But he's had an arm problem.
Yeah.
He was out for 3 months this year. Tendinitis.
Oh, Heshe.
3-all.
His second double fault, and suddenly it is set point again for the Gators. In a sudden death game, man to man, Ruffles to McMillan. Gee.
Can't buy a serve.
Joanne Russell. So 5-4 now for the Golden Gators.
And the Apples have cut the Gators' lead in the match to 5-4. For the service ace by Ray Russell.
So World Team Tennis, which has been going on all spring, will shut down for 3 weeks, for only one thing could make them do that, and that is Wimbledon, Julie, which everybody agrees is the top tournament ever. It's the oldest tournament in London, and home box office is going to be there for the first and second week.
Yeah, I'm going to be happy to be a part of some of those broadcasts. It really is most exciting. One of the things is you won't be able to see the tennis we'll see on home box office anywhere else, exclusively.
Well, it's daily coverage. First week, Monday the 26th, and the second week, it goes right on.
There'll be half-price tickets for the ladies. It'll be a real exciting match on Thursday.
So while we have a moment, let's see that interview that Bob Godshaw did before the match with Fru McMillan, the Gators player coach. So McMillan is trying to close out the set for the Gators, who have had 3 chances, 3 set points.
Double fall.
And his first double fall.
0-1.
0 points to 1.
Little chink in Fru's armor. Making a few more mistakes at the tail end of the set.
So 4 sudden death games. The Apples have won 3. Kruger is long. And Billie Jean King, the Apples bench is up.
0-2.
They were buried 4 games to none. Have won 4 out of the last 5 and have McMillan wobbling.
1-2.
Joanne Russell there, you can see the way she bounces her head. She's always chatting with herself, staying loose.
Two.
2 points all. So McMillan closing in on the set. Even if he gets it, not so bad for the Apples as it could have been. Three points to two. Here is the fourth set point for the Gators.
It was a wobbly save by Maurice Kruger, but it was a save.
So Ruffles, the assignment, get the ball back. Cannot do it. And the opening set goes to Golden Gate,
The winners of the
6-4.
mixed doubles this evening by a score of 6-4 from the Golden Gators.
So the mixed has gone to the Gators. They have a 2-point lead, and let's go down to Bob Goldshaw.
The Golden Gators lead in the match, 6-4.
Let's see if we can fix this. Okay. Really? Okay. Is that gonna be okay?
Ladies and gentlemen,
That was
you
good
may
stuff,
win
pretty
a
good stuff.
4-day weekend for two
Great working with you.
at the
That's
All-American
wonderful.
Sports Tennis Academy at Top Notch, Stover Mont.
Yes, I do. Hear you good.
Simply by entering the Farron's New York Apples Tennis State.
Brew doesn't want to come over.
To enter,
I don't think you want.
all you need to do is print your name and
I
address
understand.
clearly on the back of your ticket stub from any of the New York Apples matches, either at the Belt Forum or here at Madison Square.
Well, Maurice Kruger, half of that winning doubles team in this first set, along with Fru McMillan, and I'm sure, Maurice, at this point, people tend to think that a great player like Fru McMillan perhaps carries you at certain times, but we certainly saw tonight that you more than carried your load.
Well, it's very nice to play with Fru, and he really crosses a lot. So maybe sometimes they are right. He does carry you because he crosses a lot, but also he gives you a lot of tips on where to move yourself.
Maurice, something that you couldn't help notice tonight, your return of serve. Bud and Julie Helbin had commented on this. I believe, aside from the one ace that Ruffles hit, which I believe you must have lost in the lights or something because you didn't even make an attempt on that one,
Yeah.
I believe you returned every other serve tonight.
Yeah, actually with the left-hand serve, Fru told me just to hit through the ball. And, if I can just move forward, then I can get the ball back. And I was lucky tonight.
Your positioning, Maurice, that's something I think interesting to all tennis viewers. The fact that you seem to be in position all the time in the right spot, is it an experience kind of thing you've gained, or is it just kind of an instinctive thing, do you think?
Well, I think if I can be in position always, then, you can hit a pretty good shot. So I just try. I don't say I'm always in position, but it definitely helps a lot. So playing with Fru, he really teaches you a lot where to stand, how to move on certain balls.
Well, our guest has been half of that winning doubles team, Maurice Kruger. Maurice, thanks for being with us. Congratulations on the set. And now back to Julie and Bud.
45.
Thank you, Bob Goldshaw and Maurice Kruger.
No problem.
30 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're all relaxed and in your seats and ready for our next classic matchup, the Lionel Women's Singles.
Yeah.
This evening,
Featuring
number 3 in the league.
for the Golden Gators, Virginia Wade. And she faces tonight number 2 in the league for the New York Apples, Billie Jean King. The Golden Gators will serve first.
So here she is.
And serving fourth
At this end of the court, Mother Freedom, Billie Jean King.
Virginia Wade.
And once teammates, she and her opponent tonight, Virginia Wade, helped the Apples win the title last year. Now they're combatants.
1-0.
And Wade serving to King. How many times this has happened over the years in major tennis, world team tennis, tournaments throughout the world. Wade and King. Billie Jean King, who looks slimmer than I've ever seen her. I said, "What happened to most of you, kid?" She said, "It's still there, but I've rearranged it."
Yeah, strangely enough, she hasn't really lost much weight.
No, it's just a hot.
I'm going to have a look here at Virginia Wade's serve. Maybe we'll get a look at it again later. She's changed it a lot in the last couple of years. She's trying to get more safety in her serve, less sheer power, holding her legs a little bit closer.
Uncertain toss there, I thought.
Well, she has a lot of sorries. Throws the ball up, catches it, and says, sorry.
2-0 for Wade. Two points to 1.
The toss, Virginia's toss, as she turns her body around, she turns her arm with her and tosses at the same time. So her arm is moving laterally as it's also going up, and that can be a problem.
That's not good.
There it happens.
2-1 for Wade. The Gators, her team, lead 6-4. Oh, that's a good return. Billie Jean with a top spin flipper. 2 points all.
As Billie Jean gets a year or two older, or a day or two older, she uses more and more, quote, junk shots. She tries all kinds of rubbish now. What I used to love to do.
That's pretty high quality junkyard she comes from.
Yep.
Yeah, they used to call you Junk Ball Julie. I remember that.
Yeah, you did.
Now, break point for Billie Jean. Wade had 2-0. She's lost the last 3 points. Great return by King, setting up this topspin. But it wasn't deep enough, and it's sudden death. 3 points all.
3-all.
And receiver's choice of court.
Receiver's choice.
King says she'll take the left court.
I don't think she wants to have Virginia serve wide to her forehand.
Exactly, partner. You've seen this game before.
I've seen these two before. They used to beat me regularly.
Oh, I remember you beating both of them.
Not often. Virginia actually really had my number. Does she have Billie Jean's?
And King breaks through, and so she picks up a point for the Apples, and the Gators' lead is now 6-5.
Games in the second set are 1-0 New York. The Golden Lady Gators lead in the match 6-5. And serving
So
for
King,
the Apples,
serving for the first time.
King.
She says her knees feel better than ever before, Julie. She's been doing the Nautilus work.
Over 1-0.
After 3 operations in 10 years. It wasn't her first one in 1968.
I believe it was.
Then one in 70.
Yeah.
One in 76.
2-0.
It looks to me like Billie Jean's changed her serve a bit again. She's fiddles a lot with her strokes in the last couple of years. Let's have a look.
Oh!
Fine smash. Billie Jean looking totally healthy now. She's come off an illness. She had tracheitis. We saw her on the air a couple of weeks ago, and she was just making her first having her first match back.
So she has 2 games, and the match is dead
Games
even.
in the second set are now 2-0 New York.
The Apples looked rotten to the core early on. They lost the first 4 games, and it's 6-all. 6-all. The Gators have been ahead from the start, but now Wade has been caught by King. And down the line!
Billie Jean actually grabbed that ball from behind her. Can you see? Well, we couldn't quite see it. She flicked her wrist around.
0 points to 1. Wade, 2 nights ago, was beaten by Martina Navratilova of the Lobsters, 6-4. But the Gators won that match 24-23.
Super tiebreaker.
Yeah, it was. And the men's doubles came down to that. And McMillan and Sandy Mayer beat Tony Roach and Roy Emerson 7 points to 1.
You can see that statistic on the screen there. Virginia Wade has been strong against Billie Jean in team tennis. They have a rivalry.
Oh, she mishit that. Looked like my forehand. I guess even Billie Jean can hack a little.
Big wind-up for a low ball. Tough to hit a low ball that way. I think it bounced lower than she thought it would.
2 points to 1 for Wade, trying to regain the lead for the Gators. Well, my prediction for the Gators looked pretty good in those first 4 games. 2 points all.
The Gators have depended a great deal on Virginia Wade to do as well as they have in the last couple of weeks. And if she is, if your prediction's going to be good, she's really going to have to do something here. The reason, she's much better in singles than she is in doubles. An ace.
She double faulted, I think. What's the call?
Ed Michaels said good.
Oh, he did. Yes, he did indeed. It is an ace, and it's 3 points to 2 for Wade. His hand went down. I thought it was pointing out, but it was actually parallel to the court.
I knew he said good because Billie Jean's head looked down. Was not pleased.
Out!
And there's the game. King still leads 2-1, but the Gators lead 7-6. That's the important score.
The Golden Gators lead in the match.
And have another look at Virginia's serve. She's going to twist her shoulders around. That's one of the features of it, and she really gets her weight back and then forward, stretches up nice and high. And you can see there's a wonderful view of just how much spin and how much angle she got on that serve.
Greater New York area.
Virginia Wade looking really quite well. Her book's coming out. It's being published the week before Wimbledon.
She'll defend her title there. You'll probably see her on some of the home box office telecasts of Wimbledon. And Virginia does, as you say, seem very happy with herself, very relaxed. At times she can be very cold and aloof and standoffish and a little snippy. But tonight she was very warm and pleasant. And I said, "Are you ready for Wimbledon?" And she said, "I've done about as much as there is to do." And she doesn't obviously feel as tight about it as she used to. At Madison Square Garden, I'm Bud Collins along with Julie Hellman. Our statistician is the renowned Stefano Flink from World Tennis Magazine. And here is Billie Jean King trying to keep her lead, thereby keeping the Apples in a match in which they were nearly dead before it started. They lost the first 4 games, and that's a big margin to make up. That was in mixed doubles.
Looks like Billie Jean isn't quite tossing high enough on her serve. Let's have another look at that. That one was high enough.
Two points to 0.
Strange to realize that the same things that all of us have to think about on our strokes, all of the top stars do too. Throw the ball a little higher, twist your shoulders a little bit more, watch it longer. Vitas Gerulaitis has been helped by Fred Stolle. He's been told to stretch up more to the ball, and he's serving wonderfully.
Toss problems, according to Fred, is what has held back Vitas' serve. Well, that's bread and butter for Billie Jean. Feed her that backhand volley.
Yeah. I played Billie Jean in the juniors about 100 years ago. And at that time, Billie Jean hit every backhand volley cross court. What made her great, though, was she learned to use it tactically, go every which way with it.
That's not the best return of the set. 3 points to 1.
Skipped off the court, the return that return did.
Just wide. Good play by Wade. She got it.
And Bud, what was so good about that play from Wade was that charging forehand volley she took so far in front. It is, as I've said, to use a tired old phrase, the weather vane of her strokes, of her game. If her forehand volley's on, so is the rest of hers.
Never heard you say that before. 3 points to 2 for King.
I'm glad you haven't, because I'll try it again.
Boy, she's attacking the second ball, but look out. Billie Jean has it. 3-1 for King, but she has brought the apples even at 7 all. Virginia Wade. Ooh.
1-0.
Oh, what an ovation she will get at Wimbledon when she opens her defense of the title.
Oh, it's true. She was Queen Virginia, our Queen Ginny last year. The whole country got excited. Billie Jean saw it.
King with a flipper, but nobody's home there.
Billie Jean just ran into Bob Goldschall down there. Hope he's all right. That wasn't the greatest of drop volleys, but it had Billie Jean out of court. And you see, she left the whole court open.
2 points to 0.
Virginia Wade's biography coming out. She says it's going to be serialized in one of the London papers, the Daily Mail. She'll be all over.
What's she called it?
I think it's Courting Triumph. Ooh.
So 3-2 for King, and the Gators lead again, 8-7.
We call the Gators lead in the match, 8-7.
So 8-7 for the Gators. That's the important score. As Billie Jean King serves for the third time. And that is her first double fall. See what her first serves are doing here. Six of 11 first serves, not really good. But that was one of them. So it's 7 for 12.
I think there might be a small dead spot if you serve very deep, which is always the aim anyway. It seems to skip on this court.
Oh! Shot of the night. You know, they're playing at a high level, both of them.
Mm-hmm. That was a great backhand.
1 point to 2.
In her youth, Virginia, her youth, up until 2
boy.
years ago, Virginia
Oh,
would
he's
always
tough.
hit cross court. Not now. Down the line. Were you upset about me talking about her youth, Bud?
Yeah, she looks like there's a little left to her.
She's my age. I can say that.
Well, then there is a lot left.
Thank you. But honestly, the reason she won Wimbledon is she learned to change her tactics, change her style. And previously you could predict that every time you came in, she'd go cross court. That time, that really blitzing, I mean, how often do you hit one that wonderfully? But she hit it down the line.
Oh. 2 points all. King trying to protect her lead, which is 3 games to 2. But the Gators lead 8-7.
Billy's there.
Not
what was
a
that?
wise choice. Not a wise choice at all.
Have you noticed how much Virginia's trying to drop volley? I noticed her doing it in practice, and she's done a couple here. Does that say something about Billy's speed?
Break point against King. 2 points to 3. And again, she misses the first serve. Boy, she got down to that volley. But Billie Jean genuflecting to make a magnificent shot and go to sudden death.
Game point, receiver's choice.
Wade selects the right court.
And here is Virginia on the run. Look how low Billie Jean gets. Nearly fell over.
3 points all. Last point of the game. And let's see if Wade attacks the second serve as she has throughout the set. No chance on that one. And Wade has the game. So it's 3-all, and the Gators lead 9-7.
Are now tied at 3-all. The Golden Gators lead in the match.
So on Thursday, July 13th, we've been showing you tennis here and a lot of little team tennis, but Home Box Office is interested in all sports, and we're going to have the documentary Halfway to the World Series. This is a look at the baseball season thus far with the triple plays, and looks at the Yankees, who have not been doing so well, the Boston Red Sox, who have been doing very, very well with Carl Yastrzemski and company. And of course, you know, one of the players you're going to see in this is Randy Moffett, the outstanding relief pitcher for the San Francisco Giants, who just happens to be the little brother, about 6 feet 5 inches of him, the little brother of Billie Jean King. Nine-7 for the Gators, and Billie Jean King and Wade, Virginia Wade, are identical on first serves, 9 of 17, 53% apiece. Not very good, considering the high level of this match.
Good point.
Wide.
0-1.
Virginia, interestingly, putting a little bit of spin on her overhead. I thought she used to hit it quite flat. Coming over it now. Done that 2-3 times. That's a little bit of the power.
Close. Wow, volley to volley to volley.
Virginia didn't quite make up her mind. You'll see here she's hesitant, didn't know whether to come in, and that probably is what lost her the point. Got stuck in no woman's land.
Incredible point as King leads 2 points to 0. 4 successive volleys, and they weren't even in volleying position.
Ooh. Oh, that was good.
Yeah.
0-3.
So, 4 break points for Billie Jean. That is out, and Wade falls behind 4-3, and Billie Jean picks up a game to cut the Gators' lead to 9-8.
New York. The Golden Gators lead in the match, 9-8.
So Billie Jean serving with a 4-3 lead. Very quiet and composed tonight. Ugh.
0-1.
You're right about that, Bud Collins. When I saw her play against Phoenix the other night, she was yelling and screaming like the old Billie Jean, howling about the line calls.
But she said to me before the game tonight, she said, she says, at my age, you know, you're talking about that old age, she said, it's a head problem with me, and she said, I really have got to settle down. I cannot let myself get thinking about line calls and stuff because I just fall apart.
Huh.
0-2.
She used to get more fired up
Yeah.
from getting upset.
Yeah.
Now that she's hit 34. Whew.
0 points to 2. Wade, just broken, is coming right back at King.
Saw up on the screen there how many U.S. national titles Billie Jean has won. She's going for a Wimbledon record. She's won 19 of them, going for 2-0.
Double fault. 0-3.
Let's have a look at Billie Jean's serve. She changed her action. She used to bring her racket much more down and around, much more limp-wristed. Now she's trying to get it up sooner.
Wow, Virginia Wade breaks right back.
Games are 4-all.
4-all, but
Gators lead in the match.
Wade increases the Gators' lead to 2, 10-8. Wade the server. 4 breaks in 8 games.
It's a slice that did that.
1-0.
Truly, Virginia trying to make Billie Jean run further and further. You can see it here on that slice. See how she comes under and around the ball. Almost got it.
1 point to 0.
Bud Collins, I just noticed something.
Yes.
Vitas Scarolitis has not been on the bench.
For the Apples.
Yes.
Where is he? Well, maybe he's at a discotheque. He'll show up in time to play.
That's rather unusual, though.
Yeah, it is. Possibly out warming up in the hallway, hitting balls against the wall. 3-0 for Virginia Wade.
She's charging madly to the net now.
She was behind 2 games to none. Now she's on the verge of leading in the set and increasing the Gators' lead to 3.
There's the Apples. You see on the right, Mary Carrillo. She was on the team earlier in the year, replaced by the woman on your left, Julie Anthony. Mary Carrillo had a knee operation, hurt herself playing team tennis. So they brought in Billie Jean's old doubles partner, Julie Anthony.
Doc Anthony.
They have the best record in women's doubles in team tennis ever. Really high record, too. I think it's 620 they played at. I'll check that.
3 points to 1 for Virginia Wade. And the game. 5-4 for Wade, 11-8 is the Gators' lead.
And the Golden Gators lead in the match, 11-8.
As they break,
In addition to the 4
the 3-game break
mentioned earlier,
coming up on home box office will be the tournament. Need I say more? That's Wimbledon. And on both weeks, it's a 2-week event, of course. Home box office will cover the tournament Monday, June 26th through Friday, June 30th. Half-hour highlights, same day. There's no coverage quite like that, is there, Julie?
No, and in the second week it'll be the same. Same-day coverage of the quarterfinals and the semifinals. Nowhere else will you be able to see the quarterfinals and the semifinals in America. Just on home box office.
Home box office.
At the conclusion of tonight's match. Thank you.
Billie Jean King has a couple of objectives here. She wants to stay in the set, and she wants to whittle the Gators' lead, which is 3. That's not the way to whittle.
0-1.
She sort of muscled that ball out. Isn't
Yeah.
she strong in the arms now? Those Nautilus muscles.
King.
1-all.
Boy, oh boy, did she pull Virginia out wide out of the court on the left side. That's really tough to do.
1 point all. King trails 4 games to 5. Her Apples trail 11-8.
Same play, other court, wide. She hooked her wide that time.
2-1.
Volley to the other side. Basic pattern play. Serve and volley stuff. Great return.
No.
That was a case of Virginia Wade knowing Billie Jean King's game very well. She knew which way Billie would probably move, hit the opposite way.
2 points all. Ooh, 3 double faults for Billie Jean, and it's set point against her. Fine serve down the middle. That's out. It's 3 points all, and it's still set point in the sudden death game.
Receiver's choice.
Wade, who has the chance to pick either court, says she'll take it on the right.
Billie Jean looking for an extra good serve here.
Set point 2.
Trouble.
Mammoth point. Wade wins it. The Gators will be up by 4 again. Oh! Double fault number 4. King loses the set 6-4, and the Gators go up 12-8, a margin of 4 once again.
6-4. The Golden Gators, Virginia Wade. The Golden Gators now lead in tonight's match, 12-8.
Virginia Wade will serve for the set now with a 5-4 lead, and the Gators ahead by 5 now. Their biggest lead, 17-12.
But this is the set I expected the New York Apples to win, and win rather easily, and instead Billie Jean King's serve was just broken. Gators are serving for it.
0-1.
First point to the Apples.
I told you my predictions weren't always accurate.
Now, a chance for the Apples. 0 points to 2.
Virginia Wade has been charging forward throughout this set, but right there, she blew the volley. She's been either hitting it with a smash or punching her forehand volley. She did neither there.
Well, Alana Kloss took care of that one.
1-2.
Alana Kloss has been playing doubles with Virginia recently. They've been doing better and better, but they're not one of the top teams at all in World Team Tennis. They're taking a while to get used to each other. Alana Kloss, U.S. Open champion with Linky Boshoff, who has
That's
now quit
correct.
playing tennis.
Yeah, she's quit.
Yeah.
Went back to school, I guess. Good return by King, and they have breakers against Wade. 1 point to 3.
Now, Linky wants to be a business person, and Alana Kloss wants to win this set.
Two points to 3.
2-3.
Net cord. That is out, and so Wade cannot serve it out. 5 all, and it's 17-13 for the Gators.
5 all. The Gators lead in the match 17-13.
Russell will be the server. Kloss.
0-1.
Yes, that was a bit fancy to hit down Alana Kloss's alley with her big forehand waiting there. Supposed to go down the middle. You go down the alley when you have a chance to win the point outright.
It is wide.
1-all.
King and Russell, knowing each other's games very well, are crisscrossing around each other. They are, of course, #1 in the league. And Kloss and Wade are so low in the league that they aren't in the top 10. And there are only 10 entire teams in the league. There are more than 10 doubles teams. There are 10 teams playing in World Team Tennis. I think they're running about 12th.
12th in a 10-team league.
I'm right. It's true.
Well, this must be their best effort right here. So, double fault for Joanne. That is number 2.
Strangely enough, I have seen Kloss and Wade win some doubles. They did extremely well the other night, last week, against Mona Garant and Carrie Reed.
1 point to 2. Russell.
And the point is that Garant and Reed are 3 in the league. So they can keep up with you. Just not winning a whole lot.
Who? Billie Jean.
Of course, the fact that Wade and Kloss are doing well here is a big team effort, and I think Virginia wanted to make a special effort here against her old team.
6-5 for the Apples, but still 17-14 for the Gators.
New York. The Gators lead in the match 17-14.
Alana Kloss now will try to lift herself and Virginia into a tiebreaker.
1-0.
Virginia served for the set at 5-4, didn't make it. Late call, but I believe a correct one by Kaz DeLillo.
I think Alana must have seen Joanne Russell moving because she sort of pushed that inside out at the last second.
2 points to 0.
Joanne Russell, of course, one of the finest women's doubles players, as is Billie Jean King. Joanne won with Wimbledon doubles last year.
With Helen Gourlay-Cawley. That's out.
3-0.
They're going to play again this year.
The Gators have been ahead throughout the match, although they were tied twice by the Apples.
They have yet to beat, the Apples have yet to beat the Gators this year.
This is the 4th match?
Third.
Game, go Gators.
Tiebreaker time.
Games are 6-all.
6-all.
Gators lead in the match 18-14.
18-14.
The teams will now play a best 5 out of 9 points.
So, sudden death tiebreaker with King leading off to serve 2 points. Woo, that's good stuff. 1-0 in this tiebreaker for the Apples.
And you want to see how to hit a backhand volley? Watch Billie Jean there, moving forward, flashing that racket, bending her knees. Extraordinary form.
1 point to 0. 2 points to 0 for the Apples. Serve will go to Wade.
And Bud, no matter what Golden Gate does, what Wade and Kloss do in this set, they have done well enough for their side.
Oh, yes.
Kept them even. Worst they can do is go down by 1 game here.
King. 3-0 for the Apples.
And she's truly raising her game here, truly bringing some of that old adrenaline back. Used to be whenever she was down, she would play like that. Used to be. Now a lot of her energy goes to exercising, going to the Nautilus. getting fit. It's like a goal in itself.
Second serve. The Apples can pick up a point by winning the tiebreaker and be behind by 3. If they lose the tiebreaker, they're behind by 5. Kloss, 3 points to 1 for the Apples. Serve will go to Russell after the change of courts. Fred Stolle, player coach for New York, and Ilana Kloss gets to position without a word from her coach, Fru McMillan. Joanne Russell, the server, 3 points to 1 in the tiebreaker. Gators lead in the match, 18-14. Four points to 1. And Joanne and Billie Jean
4-1, New York.
have 4 set points. Wade, 4 points to 2.
4-2, New York.
Kloss will serve the remaining points, each one a set point.
Virginia Wade's forehand volley still looking good.
Now it's 3 points to 4. Wade and Kloss have saved 2 set points. Here's set point 3.
Billie Jean's been missing a bunch of backhand returns too, so let's see if she can get this one in.
Oops. That looked about like the double fault that Billie Jean King lost her set on. What? Ooh. No. So it's 4 points all, and here is sudden death. The 4th set point against Virginia and Ilana, but it is also a set point against Billie Jean and Joanne. Simultaneous set point. Sudden death, and the Apples die on that one. So it's 7-6, the set to the Gators, Virginia Wade and Ilana Kloss, and they lead 19-14.
Ilana Kloss and Virginia Wade by a score of 7-6. 5-4 in the tiebreaker, and at intermission, the Golden Gators.
So coming back from 1-4, and let's go to Bob Goldschall.
Virginia, I would imagine you have to be pleased not only by virtue of the fact that you won, but the caliber of play. I thought the level of play was excellent.
It was. I was pleased that I won. It was a slightly strange match because I lost my opening serve, but then I was pleased because I sort of settled down into it, and I thought I played a little better than Billie Jean did, and played the important points well. So I was happy. It wasn't. I didn't think it was brilliant, but it was okay.
It was close. I thought when you dug that little hole for yourself in the beginning, you came back nicely and stayed totally aggressive.
Yeah, I think I'm much more positive. I'm much more sure of myself, so I'm happy. I can be aggressive.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Virginia, thanks and good luck again.
Thanks.
Back to the booth.
Serving for the Golden Gators,
Sandy Mayer
Sandy Mayer.
playing against his old doubles partner, Vitas Gerulaitis. Mayer for the Golden Gators, Gerulaitis for the Apples. Sandy used to play for the Apples. These two won Wimbledon together in 1975, but antagonists now. Mayer has lost 6 straight sets. An ace in World Team Tennis. He's not doing well, and this is where the Apples would hope to make up some ground, but Vitas Gerulaitis has not been feeling well, suffering from a virus.
3-0.
But Vitas wasn't on the bench the whole first part of the night. Just appeared to play the set. Not his usual cheerful, bouncy self.
No, the Lithuanian Lion, Gerulaitis, did not roar in that first game, which goes to Mayer.
1-0 Golden Gators.
And are you going to call him the Lithuanian Lamb?
2014.
He might be, or the Lithuanian Pigeon if he doesn't win this.
Garolitis.
20-14 for the Gators. Garolitis has got to make up. Ooh, hasn't scored a point. He's lost 5 straight.
0-1.
Apples being Gatorized right now. And Garolitis has a point. 1 point all. Score called by the referee, Roger Glazier. Garolitis.
But his serve looks a lot better than it was a little bit earlier in the year. He's been working on it with Coach Fred Stolle, reaching up to it. Said Stolle helped his toss?
Reaching up, that's right. Fred says when Vitas gets tight, hey, an ace. He has a tendency to bring the ball down before he throws it up.
Mm-hmm.
And that jars the toss all out of sync. I noticed you didn't like my call of ace there, Julie.
No, I didn't.
I'm like Steve Flink. I think it's a scorer's decision. I don't think Meyer had a play, but 1 game all.
Games are 1-all.
And it's 20-15 for the Gators.
20-15.
Vitas Garolitis needs a service break. Could use a couple of them to put the Apples back into contention.
But Sandy Mayer, who normally has such a brilliant, fast first serve, says he hasn't been serving well all this team tennis season. As a matter of fact, he can remember only one night when his serve was not broken. And that's pretty amazing for a guy who was 1, 2, and 3 in the league the last couple of years. He's hanging around about 10th.
I'm trying to remember one night when my serve wasn't broken every time. Maybe against Steve Flink, I would hold.
0-2.
Sandy Mayer's serve. The problem is there's nothing really wrong with it. He seems to get his weight back and forward nicely. Jumps way up to it.
0 points to 2.
His father's here watching tonight. Maybe he'll be able to pick something up. But Sandy says he can't see anything wrong with any of his strokes. The problem is it's a sort of case of the tennis blahs.
Ooh. Yes, his father, Sandor Mayer, teaching pro, has a summer tennis camp, and he is watching, and he was remarking, well, now both my children have major titles because Sandy's brother Gene Mayer won the French Open doubles with Hank Pfister last week. And of course, Sandy won Wimbledon with Vitas Garolitis. So 2 Mayer brothers. Gene is the younger at 22, are professional players. That's a double fault. First for Sandy.
Vitas slapping himself, trying to get some of that adrenaline going.
Break point.
He needed to play tonight, sick or not. Sick or not. Didn't hit that one clean.
No, but it was good, and it's sudden death.
Game point.
Vitas taking the left court. Sandy says that if there was anything wrong with the stroke, he'd go out and hit thousands of them and fix it and cure it. But he doesn't think it's the strokes that are the problem. He's eager enough to play, but he gets on the court and there's something blah.
Well, this is the last point of the game. And an ace for Mayer.
Games are 2-1.
But Sandy Mayer is very outspoken, and I'll tell you about that in a moment. First, tell me about the World Series.
21-15 for the Gators. This is tennis, but we're going to have baseball on home box office starting July 13th. That's a Thursday night. The documentary called Halfway to the World Series, which covers the 1978 season thus far, and you'll see all the leading players in the National and the American League smiting and throwing and catching the horsehide. Halfway to the World Series.
Bill Bond's Ladies' Night, with ladies receiving half-price tickets. And the first 4,000 fans entering will each receive cans of official World Team
6-point lead for the Gators, 21-15, Julie.
courtesy of Wheaties.
Sandy Mayer. I'm going to read you a quote that he had went all around the country about when he left the New York Apples. Read it after this point. Watch this point first.
Carolinas being passed by a tremendous return.
Mayer was happy to go to
Where is he?
to the Bay Area.
Well
Thank
done.
you. Couldn't get that out. And the reason? He didn't like New York in the end. Mayer's playing well there. Mayer said, "I did not make 1 penny more or get 1 iota more famous because I played in New York. That's the most brutal city in the world. Those Big Apples fans get down on you if you're the least bit off one night. I liked the team, the individuals on the team, but I was glad to leave. I think the switch of me and Vitas Gerulaitis worked out well. He likes New York and I like the Bay Area. It was an easy move for me to make. It was actually nice of the league to do that for us," he said. Sounds a little upset with New York, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. Well, he chose the Bay Area to go to school, Stanford, as you did yourself.
And he bought a home there.
So I think he's glad to be back. Gerulaitis is down 0 points to 3. He's down 2-1 in the set. And Mayer breaks him.
And Mayer playing some of the best tennis that he's played all season. Really hitting his forehand.
22-15 for the Golden Gators. Mayer has the serve. Golden Gators have won 8 of the 12 sudden death games, and what a difference that makes. Suppose New York had won those other 4, they'd be right there in the match.
That's
They'd be ahead.
definitely some vintage Sandy Mayer there. Sandy Mayer just turned to the New York bench and showed them how well he was hitting his forehand. Not much teasing and taunting going on from the benches in team tennis the way it was the first year. Though Nastasi does it. And does he do it?
The house mother of the Los Angeles Strings.
Mother?
Well, he says he has to do everything. Be psychiatrist, chaperone.
There a flash of health from Vitas Gerulaitis. Looking a bit pale and midnight tanned.
1 point all.
Sandy really getting some oomph in his serve, really going for it. Something about playing in the Garden, playing against his old team. Good return.
No, it's wide.
Vitas' backhand much improved. Sometimes, though, he gets caught deep in the backhand corner, not quite prepared. If he has time, oof, it's lovely now.
Mm. 3 points to 1.
And a ferocious Sandy Mayer here. A good serve, bouncing away from Vitas. And he really hit that one cleanly. We saw him hit a smash earlier that wasn't clean.
Out. 22-15. The Gators lead by 7.
Ooh.
3-2.
Boy, is his forehand wonderful. Best forehand in men's tennis at the moment? No, it's got to belong to Borg.
Yeah.
I think we'll give Borg a forehand.
Ooh. So Mayer Mayer 4-1, increasing the Gators' lead to 8, 23-15.
Correct score is Golden Gators 23, the Apples 15.
Vitas Gerulaitis, the Lithuanian Lion, without too much bite tonight. But Mayer looks like that day 5 years ago at Wimbledon when he was just a kid and knocked off the favorite, Ilia Nastasi. That was the first most people had heard of Sandy Mayer. Ooh, what a get! And Vita showed excellent judgment there.
Yes, it was one of the better misses. These guys really try for everything. They're two of the best, hardest workers, fastest players. Yeah, some kind of judgment, bud.
1 point all ace for Gerulaitis. He has 2.
2-1.
The other night against Butch Walsh, the biggest server in team tennis, he served 5 aces in a singles
In a
set.
set. That's...
Oh, no!
Gee! Mayer! Oh, what a double step he did. Went the wrong way, changed directions. Oh, I want to see that again, Julie.
Yeah, it really is quite funny.
2-all.
That's that double step where he got caught, and then all he did was get the net, and Vitas couldn't put it away.
2 points all.
Vitas really looks sluggish.
Oh, I like the way Mayer takes the ball on the rise.
And he hasn't been as much. He hasn't been going for it, and tonight we're seeing it. Funny, we've had Vitas on twice on Home Box Office, and both times he's been below par. He's #1 in the league, though.
3 points to 2. And the game. So it's 4 games to 2 for Mayer.
Games are 4-2 Golden Gators.
23-16 for the
They lead
Gators.
in the match 23-16. For the service ace by Vitas Gerulaitis.
So now Bob Goldschall has the Apples player coach Fred Stolle. Bob?
Madison, New Jersey. Marie Moretti of
Oh.
Madison. Ladies and gentlemen,
okay.
following this Thursday's match.
While we have a moment, let's see that interview that Bob Goldschall did before the match with Fred Stolle.
Wimbledon, with all the New York Apples participating in Wimbledon this year. Be sure to come out and see the Apples in their final match before the Wimbledon break. It's Thursday night against the first place.
Sandy Mayer will serve. Sandy Mayer started out his professional tennis career not liking the name Sandy. He asked everybody to call him Alex, but Sandy had been a childhood name, and finally he gave up because some people would write it or say it Sandy, and others would say it Alex, and he said, it's so confusing, I guess I'm stuck with Sandy.
Am I not correct, Bud, that Sandy's father has helped Vitas also
Oh, yes, he has.
on his serve, I
And
believe?
he's helped Brian Gottfried for a while.
He's particularly good on the serve, isn't he?
Yeah, he understands that aspect of the game, but he has a good feeling for tactics too, I think. And there's an ace from Mayer. He has 3. Gerulaitis has 2. 1 point all.
Vitas was there.
2-1.
Bottom of the net he's got.
Net cord, and it's wide.
Vitas wanting to join another sport tonight, hoping he'll get a contract with the Cosmos.
Cosmos, perhaps.
Got a lot of World Cup stickers in here. In the banners, I mean, not stickers. In the Madison Square Garden.
That'll go long.
Two,
2 points to 3, a breaker for Vitas.
Nice the way he chipped that forehand back. Wonder where Sandy will serve. Probably that backhand. Tried. I wouldn't want to serve to Vitas' forehand.
Net cord. Chipped lob. And Sandy takes him into sudden death.
3-all. Game point.
Lob over Sandy's head. Beautiful scissors kick up there. It was a tough lob. He was stretched.
Gerolaitis chooses the left court for the final point of the game.
Sudden death.
And a second serve. Wonder if he'll run around his backhand.
Can he on Sandy's serve?
I don't know. Not on. Well, Gerolaitis breaks through. 4-3
Games are 4.
now for Mayer and 23-17 for the Gators.
The match now is 23-17.
Vitas Gerolaitis is the server. He is even on serve now at 3-4, trying to chip away at that Gator lead, which is 6 points. A lot.
Well, if he can win the set, he'll bring it down to 3-point difference. And that's
Depending on how he wins it, of course.
true. If he only wins a tiebreaker, it's
0-1.
still a 4-point difference. Vitas seems to be sweating a lot, which normally wouldn't make much difference, but as he is supposed to have the stomach flu, could be draining himself.
Oh, it's good. Bad judgment by Vitas. 0 points to 2. No.
0-3.
Now 4 breakers for Mayer. Zero points to 3. Feels like he's in an elevator shaft at the bottom. And he double faults. So, with his first double fault, it's 5-3 for Mayer and 24-17 for the Gators.
24-17.
And Mayer serves for the set. Trying to break his own string of 6 losses. Julie? Right.
That's right. And to break Vitas' string of 5 straight wins.
5 straight wins.
Sandy is playing lovely. He likes that cushion to play on top of.
Yeah.
Quite pleased that the women did so well and the mixed. Both these guys are going to be seeded at Wimbledon, Bud. And I think Sandy wants to find his rhythm in time to play well there. Certainly would like it in team tennis, but it's the first half of the season just about over. Might as well get it for Wimbledon.
Absolutely. 2 double faults for Sandy, 1 point all. He leads 5-3. His team is up by 7, 24-17. Ooh.
I got a flash there of Vitas' speed. He was standing way back. Could get to the short one, which a lot couldn't. Did nothing with it.
2 points to 1 for Mayer. Mayer is serving under 50% on first serves. Hasn't hurt him. 12 of 27.
Since the first couple of games of this set, he hasn't been doing so well. The first couple of games, I thought he was getting his first serve in.
Yes.
Now would be the time to try and get it in.
Which he did. Set point for Sandy Mayer. At 3 points to 2. Gee, somehow, I don't know how he did it. He slashed at the ball, making it sudden death.
It was what you would call a wooden winner. Vitas on the run, desperately. Oh, did we get that one there? Caught Sandy totally unawares.
Sudden death. Vitas goes to the left court for the last point. This is set point number 2 for Mayer.
He needs this one for his own confidence.
You might say it's a much-needed point for both men.
Oh, yes, I think quite right.
2 successive lets. In the opening set, the mixed doubles, Ray Ruffles had 3. Can Mayer eclipse that? Ooh. Ooh. But the set goes to Sandy Mayer, and he boosts the Gators to an 8-point lead, 25-17.
6-3. The Golden Gators, Sandy Mayer. The Golden Gators now lead in tonight's match, 25-17. The Apples will serve first.
Vitas Gerulaitis returns to the court for the men's doubles. This is the last set of the night, and though the Apples are behind 25-17, the overtime provision of World Team Tennis is a possibility for them. For Gerulaitis and Ray Ruffles against Fru McMillan, the receiver, and Sandy Mayer. To get into overtime, the Apples must win this set. If they can't win the set, then they lose.
That's simple.
And they're playing against the #1 team in the league in McMillan and Mayer, Julie.
Yes, McMillan and Mayer have won their last 9 sets in a row, and they've won 15 out of 17 since April the 30th.
2-1.
But I got those statistics from Bob Monsbeck, who's here doing the radio for the Golden Gators.
Good man, young Robert.
Great in radio.
3-1.
3 points to 1.
Vitas may be better in the doubles than he was in the singles. Took a little breather, sat on the bench in between.
So Gerulaitis holds serve, and that reduces the Gators' lead 25 to 25-18.
25-18. Serving for the Golden Gators, Sandy Mayer.
Sandy Mayer. Mayer to Gerulaitis. Mayer and Gerulaitis on a streak of 9 sets. Mayer was on a losing streak in singles of 6 until he played Gerulaitis. Well, there is. You saw it.
A patsy lob.
Ugh.
Another thing about the Golden Gators men's doubles team is on the road and at home, they're playing the ends of the matches. Even on the road, their opponents are putting them at the tail end.
Which they love.
Mm-hmm.
In there, down the middle for Vitas.
It is rather extraordinary that they're playing the end. Vitas Gerulaitis showing that he does have some oomph, even if he does have the flu, following through.
3 points to 1. Is that great forehand you were talking about, Julie? 3 points to 2.
Effortless, too. Gets it in front of himself.
Yeah, yeah. 3 points to 2. Referee Roger Glazier assures Mayer, who wanted to know the score. And Mayer has the game. 1 game all in the set, 26-18.
Games are 1-all.
For the Gators.
Is now in the match, 26-18. Serving for
The Gators jumped ahead by winning the first 4 games of the mixed doubles. Here's Ruffles serving, and they have never been behind. The Apples never in the lead, although they tied twice.
1-0.
And that in front of their home crowd.
Ace for Ruffles. He had 1 in the mixed doubles. That's his first in the doubles. 3-0.
That looks like a bit better serving from Ray Ruffles. He needs to up his game a bit, too.
Yes, he does. He's going to play mixed doubles with Billie Jean King at Wimbledon. She need all the help she can get.
3-1.
The game for the Apples, Ruffles and Gerulaitis. They're ahead 2-1, but they trail in the match 26-19.
And for the service ace by Ray Ruffles in game number 3.
But on Sunday, June the 18th, we have a couple of your favorites here in the movie Airport 77.
Airport 77.
You told me that a couple of the people in here were acting before I was born.
Well, I think they were. Certainly James Stewart and Olivia de Havilland, who are in it. Jack Lemmons of a little more recent vintage. But it should be quite something. The kind of thing we all dread, I suppose, those of us who fly so much. But a 747 is trapped beneath the sea. That is not the place for a 747 to be. But if I know Jack Lemmon, he'll rescue it.
I certainly hope so.
Airport 77 starts Sunday, June 18th.
Right here in the main arena.
Frew McMillan. He opened the evening alongside Maurice Kruger with a 6-4 win over Joanne Russell and Ray Ruffles. And that started Coach Frew's team to a big lead, which they have maintained and built to the present point, 7 ahead, 26-19.
Golden Gators have beaten the Apples twice this season, but this is the first time they faced what it was billed as a totally healthy Apples team. Clearly not totally healthy, though, with Vitas Gerulaitis looking a bit peaked.
2 points to 0. Points to 1.
A lone cry in the background. Come on, Apples. Not much oomph left in those cries.
Frew McMillan gets those caps he wears at a store in London. replenishes them every once in a while. One cap lasts a long time, though.
3-1.
Got the idea from a school cap, didn't he?
That's right. The boys in his school in South Africa would wear those to play games in cricket. So on.
Good serve.
Woo!
Game Gators. Games are 2-all.
2 games all.
And the Gators
The
lead the
Gators
match
27-19 by 8. That's their biggest lead.
One 0.
Garolitis volley wins the first point.
One all.
1 point all. Financial advice from Vitas Garolitis. He said, you must own several Rolls Royces. He said, because they only appreciate. So he says, you cannot afford to be without a Rolls Royce.
How about Ferraris?
That too.
Okay, very important. Soon as I earn enough money to
That-
buy my Rolls Royces.
Says you cannot afford to be without one, Julie.
Mm-hmm. Well. Maybe he'll let me drive one of his.
So I went back to my Hupmobile.
A Hupmobile. Was
Hup.
that before my time too?
That too.
Two all.
2 points all. The chance for the Apples lies right here. They must win the set in order to push the match into overtime, and then win every game thereafter in the overtime. Ooh, what a reflex by Sandy Mayer.
3-2.
It so surprised his partner that Frew went over and tried to hit it one-handed.
That's breaking his own personal rules. Two-handed all the way.
And always with cocked wrists.
Yeah, since he was a kid. It hits Ruffles. He loses the point.
Sandy playing magnificent tennis for his parents, his father hasn't seen him play since February, he says. Since the Philadelphia tournament in February. It's a long time.
Sudden death, and the Gators say that Mayer will receive.
Out.
A choice of receivers. Ooh. And Vitas hangs on. 3-2. The Gators still lead 27-20.
The Gators lead in the match 27-20.
Mayer the server. So Sandy Mayer
1-0.
is playing so splendidly tonight.
It must be quite a relief for Sandy. When you come out of a slump, it's like, oh, thank heavens. In several sentences in a row the other day, first he said, I'm actually not worried, it'll come. And then he said, well, I'm not quite sure what to do.
2-0.
Frew McMillan is sort of the godfather of the very few two-handed players all the way in the world. Hans Gildemeister of Chile, Mike Fishback, an American.
3-0.
There's one other one. It
Gene
eludes me.
Mayer?
Gene Mayer, Sandy's brother, of course. And there was a Frenchman named Marc Boule. I don't believe he's playing tournaments any longer.
Michel Boule's younger brother.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
Ace for Mayer. He has 1 for a total of 4 for the night.
Games in the fifth
3
set.
all, and for the Gators, 28-20.
The Golden Gators lead in the match 28-20.
Bud, we're seeing Sandy Mayer and Vitas Gerulaitis play against each other tonight in singles, but starting June 26th at Wimbledon, we may see them playing together, trying to win the Wimbledon doubles again, which they haven't done since 1975.
1975, right.
And HBO is going to have a lot of other wonderful tennis.
From Wimbledon.
From Wimbledon. Starting June 26th, every night, Monday through Friday, it'll be a half an hour of highlights. The same day coverage.
Same day from across the Atlantic, and the second week, same day coverage of the quarterfinals and semifinals from the Big W, Wimbledon, here on Home Box Office. No place else such extensive coverage.
First place lobsters with Martina Navratilova on Thursday night. We know you'll want to be here.
Ray Ruffles is the server. Mayer was not ready.
Sandy was waiting for the organ to stop playing, I think.
3 games all. Final set of the evening.
But the beginning of Ray Ruffles' serve reminds me a little bit of the old Roy
Emerson. Now what is the matter with Mayer?
Said he wasn't ready there.
Is he trying a little gamesmanship on Ruffles?
I'm not sure it's needed.
No.
When you're ahead by 8.
And that's a let.
So Ruffles has served 4 serves. Mayer has been hit by one, but hasn't really made an effort.
That's wide.
1-0.
And to explain to everybody else why we say it looks like that Roy Emerson served, they do the rocking motion in the beginning. It's sort of like 2 false starts, getting all geared up, like winding up a machine. Oh!
2-0.
Casual half-volley cross-court winner. Just the kind of thing you'd see always down the block.
It is good. Whoops. And referee Roger Glazier overrules Frank Ragona on the line.
I think Frank Ragona was looking at the ball, not at the line. You can easily get caught in this fast tennis.
So it's 3 points to 0. 3 points to 1.
I think Ray Ruffles thought that Vitas was going to hit that. Vitas made just a quick move. Top class doubles, that happens a lot. You're supposed to disregard your partner's move and just go for it.
4-3 for the Apples. Ruffles and Gerulaitis, 28-21 for the Gators.
Gators lead in the match, 28-21.
Fru McMillan, the server.
And it's a rout. Golden Gators are really taking care of the New York Apples here tonight.
But the chance remains to force it into overtime.
It does.
1-0.
However, if they get to overtime from here, they will have some kind of a problem on their hands. They would have to win every single game. Couldn't lose one. Instant they lose one, they lose.
Mayer is flaming tonight.
He sure is. Fru McMillan started off the night that way.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he started simmering instead of boiling, though.
With great help from Maurice Kruger.
Quite right.
And her quiet and unassuming way, she moved to the right spot throughout the mixed. Double fall for McMillan. His first in this set, his second of the evening.
Trying to rival Steve Flink in statistics, Bud Collins.
Oh, I thought you meant in double faults.
That's one of those things where you say good judgment, and Fru was just lucky.
2 double faults in this game. 3-2, and they call from the Apples bench. Come on, good return, Heshy, to Ray Ruffles.
Is that Fiery Fred Stalley who said that?
Exactly. And it's not a bad return, sudden death. Now, this means a lot to the Apples. If they could pick up a point here on this sudden death game, cutting the lead to 6, then they'd be serving for the set to cut it to 5.
And if they could win the overtime, they'd set a new record. 5 in a row would be a record.
No, it doesn't go 4-all. So 29-21 for the Gators. And in sudden death games, the Gators have a 10-6 edge. And that has been really the story of tonight's match.
1-0.
As Vitas Karolaitis is at the line.
I just noticed, Bud, that Billie Jean's feet are on ice on the bench.
Ace for Vitas. First of this set. Third for the evening.
Strange toss there from Vitas. He did well with it.
Yeah, Billie Jean's been having a heel problem.
She's all iced up on the bench.
Left heel. Three points to 1. No breaks of serve in this set. And a service winner, 5-4 for Karolaitis and Ruffles, but 29-22 for the Gators.
The Gators lead in the match 29-22. For the service ace by Vitas Karolaitis in game number 9. The case of Granny Smith apples goes to Marjorie Heidi of Great Neck. Marjorie Heidi of Great Neck, Long Island.
What's that phone number?
So Billie Jean is on ice. She's already played her 2 matches. The ice is for her left heel, with which she's had a problem. And Billie Jean on the rocks? Well, we'll see at Wimbledon. She's going to be trying for a record 20th title since 1961. Sandy Mayer at 4 games to 5.
Ladies and gentlemen, the players have requested that you do not use flash equipment in the arena. Thank you.
So they were ribbing Sandy from the Apples bench, the old teammate. And he declined to serve. Now he's ready, having a little fun with his old colleagues.
Let her serve.
Topspin lob, and Mayer with all his quickness has no play.
0-1.
It was a beauteous lob.
Ruffles.
Moving forward, constantly forward.
0-2. If they can break Mayer, they'll have the set and be into overtime. That's a let.
Not only would they be into overtime, they would break the streak of Mayer and McMillan, who have won 9 sets in a row.
Oh, you're right. And 4 set points for Vitas and Ruffles. What a strange match this has been tonight. This is the one set that the Gators have really figured to win. Instead, they've won the other 4, and they're down 4 set points here.
And the set they figured to lose, the women's doubles, they won that.
Yeah. Nope. Here's set point 2.
Ray Ruffles showing us a bit of Australian go for it. Swung.
Well, what better place than a 0-3 point?
Yep.
Woo! Vitas whacks McMillan. So the set goes to Gerolitis and Ruffles, ending the 9-set streak of Mayer and McMillan, but it's 29-23. And into overtime we go, and the proposition for the Apples is they must win 6 straight games.
5 is 6?
29-23 is the score.
You're right.
And so Ruffles starts them off. Can they keep it going in overtime? If or at any time the Gators win a game, it's over. Two points to 0. So the Apples have a chance.
And their chance is to win a 6-0 set and to break another record.
The chance is slimmer than an eel with anorexia nervosa, but still, it's a chance.
An eel with anorexia nervosa. Oh, I see. Quite.
Ace for Ruffles, 2 for the night. So the score